Hello everyone, it's me, Dr. Laserbeam, and this is League of Legends 101, where I go over certain parts of the game, League of Legends. Today we'll be talking about Zac, the secret weapon, or as I like to call him, the Flying Booger. Zac is a very tanky, gank-oriented jungler who is fantastic at catching his opponents off guard and is great for gaining his lanes ahead. He is a solid pick into most situations and meshes well into most teams. Pros to Zac are: he has amazing ganks, he's a great engager, decent damage, he's a tanky boy, and he is underrated as hell. Cons to Zac are: he's a weak duelist, and he falls hard if he's behind. Zac works well with champions that can easily follow up on his ganks or can create a wombo combos with Zac. Such champions are Yasuo, Orianna, Wukong, and Malphite. Zac is strong against low escape champions and CC sensitive champions. Such champions are Katarina, Soraka, Xerath, and my boy Malphite. Zac is weak against health percent damage champions or champions who have good AoE damage. Such champions are Vayne, Zilean, Fizz, and Darius. For Zac's runes, I suggest a mix of scaling health runes, AP runes, and magic penetration runes. Armor runes and cooldown runes are also advised, if your build path calls for it. For Zac's masteries, I suggest going 12 into Cunning and 18 into Resolve. Your keystone should be Strength of Ages. Now onto Zac's abilities. First we have his passive, which is Cell Division. This ability has two passives. The first passive is that each time Zac uses an ability, a blob of himself is shed from him, and upon picking up the blob, it restores some of his health. The second part is when Zac's health reaches 0, he divides into 4 blobs that will try to combine with each other. Should any blob survive, Zac will be revived with some health. This passive is entirely focused on the survivability of Zac. His blobs will keep him in the jungle for pretty much as long as he wants to and will allow him to heal up before he yanks. For his second part of his passive, this allows Zac to do risky plays such as tower diving and going in balls to the wall deep, which not all junglers can do as easily as Zac. Use this ability to have confidence in your ganks and be less afraid overall while your passive is up. Next we have his Q, which is Stretching Strike. Zac slaps the nearest toe near him, dealing magic damage and slowing down the target for 2 seconds. This is a very straightforward ability as you use this ability as CC after you hit an enemy with your E. Besides using this on camps and finishing off low health enemies, that is basically the summary of this ability. Now onto his W, which is Unstable Matter. Zac explodes outward, which causes nearby enemies to take magic damage and a percent of the target's maximum health. This is best used to clear camps, as the blobs you create using your abilities on the camps will keep you on good health and reduce the cooldown of this ability, since each time you pick up a blob, your cooldown on this ability is reduced. Against champions, this is best used in the chaos of a fight or after you slow down an enemy champion. Just be sure you're close enough to the enemies first, since the range isn't exactly fantastic. Next we have his E, which is Elastic Slingshot. Zac channels himself, increasing his range for the longer he does it. Upon recasting, Zac jumps towards the location and deals magic damage and applies a knockup to all enemies caught by Zac. This is the bread to Zac's kit, while everything else is the butter. This ability is why Zac has fantastic ganks, since its range is absolutely ridiculous and creates an element of surprise for Zac and his team. This ability can be used to engage, peel, disengage, and contest objectives. After using this ability, all of our Zac's abilities are used, which is why this ability is so damn important to Zac's kit. Last, we have his ult, which is Let's Bounce. Zac hears Lucio telling him to break it down and proceeds to do so. He starts bouncing around like some big dumb green booger and gains movement speed over time while his ability is active. Each time he bounces, he deals magic damage to nearby enemies and knocks them back, as well as slowing them down. This ability, like Zac's E, is used for a variety of situations, but is mostly used when Zac is in the middle of an enemy team. This separates the enemies in the team, causing chaos, and allows Zac and his team to catch out an enemy and his trap. In desperate situations, Zac can use his ult to slow down an enemy team should his team need a distraction. For Zac's skill order, I suggest upgrading your E first, followed by your W, and then your Q. As always, upgrade your ult whenever you can. For Zac's starting items, you want to start off with health potions, a hunter's talisman, and a warring totem. Zac's only core item is Cinder Hulk on either a Stalker's Blade or Tracker's Knife, depending on which one you prefer, as well as a Leandri's Torment and a Spirit Visage. From here, you can build Ninja Tabby, Mercury's Treads, Deadman's Plate, Randuin's Omen, Abyssal Scepter, or a Locket of the Iron Salami. For spells, I pretty much always suggest going Flash plus Smite. During the early game, you want to get to level 3 as fast as you can so you can start ganking. Since your E has fairly good range, your ganks are better than most junglers, and in my opinion, Zac arguably has the best ganks in the game, period. You basically want to gank as much as you can during the early game without falling too behind on farm. The lane you will probably want to gank in general would be mid, but whichever lane is the most pushed up and has the least escape chance will always be your best bet. In the mid game, you'll want to look for picks as much as possible. If the opportunity to pick off an enemy does not present itself, then make sure you keep objectives warded and group up with a team whenever you need to regroup. During the late game, you basically have two options. You could be defensive peeling Zac, or you could be aggressive diver Zac. Depending on whatever your team composition is, it is up to you to decide how to go about the rest of the game. If the score is even, odds are you are the piece of the puzzle that will win or lose the game. So no pressure. This has been League of Legends 101. Let me know if you found this video to be helpful, and for all you Zac players out there, let's make Medios proud.